You may not have too much stuff. Come on in, welcome to my home. Today we're going to talk about the stuff that you have and where you store it, because the bigger story in this is you really might not have that much stuff. You really might have a problem with where you store it. And this is really important if you are planning a new house, because I'm basing all of my things off of articles which are listed down below, in case you don't want to take my word for it. Also, this book, which is the time savers standards for building types. And in all the articles in this book, they say that you need to have about 10% of your floor plan's footage for storage. Okay, so let's take the house that I've been dreaming of building, and it has about 4,032 square feet, which means that I would need about 404 square feet of storage space. And I mean actual storage space. So what do they consider storage space? Well, there's lots of things that are considered storage space. You have linen closets, you have broom closets, you have just regular closets, clothing closets, pantries, and then storage areas. So when I looked at my house, I have about 539 square feet of storage space, which is wonderful. But is it enough? Should it be enough? I don't know, because one of the weirdest things that we've ever done as a society is we decided we wanted to have bigger rooms, which is absolutely fine. Having bigger rooms is great. But we decided we wanted to have bigger rooms at the expense of storage. Because most of the times when you think about, old houses and all of those creepy shows that you've seen where they go up into the attic and there's all that stuff up in the attic. How'd that stuff get there? Why is it there? Well, it's there because people could take the things that they had and put it into storage in their own homes. They didn't have to pay for storage. They could put it up in the attic. They could put it down in the basement. They didn't have to put it in the garage because the garage was more used for outdoor things than it was for indoor things. But it's still storage. So when you look at your house today and take my condo, it does not have the 10% storage. I have very little storage, but they can get away with this because, one, the recommendation is that you have 10%. It's not a requirement. It's just recommended. And then the other part about this is this little strange thing known as attic space. It's not what I would consider a true attic, because the only way I can get there is through some tiny little trap door that's in my garage. And then I'd have to squeeze everything up there, and it's its own whole mess. So when you think about storage, you're going to need to think about, one, how are you going to access your storage? And that's one of the biggest problems with why you have so much stuff everywhere. Because if you have to shim your body through all these little places, you're not going to do that. You're going to be like, I don't have time for that. So you just either get rid of it or you put it someplace, which is just weird. It's okay. I understand. We're all weird. But if you have storage where you can actually access these things, that's wonderful, because you're more likely to put those things away and take care of them and remember that they're there, because that's the other big one is lots of people have storage and they store their things, but they make it so that it's so completely inaccessible that it's easier just to go out and buy a repeat of what you had. What I've never understood is the fact that all of these designers and builders and architects are like, hey, this is the storage that you have for these things, but not, hey, you might want to decorate your house for Christmas or Halloween. You really might. You really, really might. Some people like to change out their house decorations throughout the year, like I do. As you can see, this has just changed recently. But they don't think about the fact that you need a place to put these things. And if you look at things like Christmas decorations and Halloween decorations, they're getting bigger and way more expensive. But they're getting much, much bigger, and you're going to need a place to put these big 10-foot tall articles and things. And if your house doesn't have it, it doesn't have it. It also might not have things to places to store things which are sort of sentimental, things which are, you can then find a chair that you like and store the chair someplace so when you're not using it, you can rotate that out. That's what I've found so interesting when you watch old movies and things, and they're up in the attic and you see desks and chairs and bookcases because they were all stored there. They didn't have to run out and buy all new things every time. They could refresh their house by literally just shopping their house. And that also goes with the whole, if you figure out how you're going to store these things, it will make life much, much easier. Think about the fact that you want to have your storage accessible to you. Now, like I said, the storage does involve quite a few different things, because you have, what I'm going to have in my house is just a plain storage area where I would put all of my decorative accessories, all of the things that I would use to store things. Then on the other side of the hallway, just off the kitchen, I would have a pantry and a root cellar, which hopefully you know what a pantry and a root cellar are. You might not know what an above ground root cellar is, but it literally is to store like root vegetables, things which need a cooler temperature, that sort of stuff. And that's cool. Down the main hallway, I would have a closet which was just used for storage, 2 of them actually, and then I would have a broom closet which would hold things like brooms and mops and those sort of things. In that hallway also, just towards the bathroom, would be a linen closet, which would be, and mine would be more of a linen area because I would use kitchen cabinets to house the linens and those sort of things. Things that you would put in like extra toilet paper, extra toothbrushes, pillows, sheets, those sort of things in that area, because it's a great thing to have, so that way, one, when people come over, you can tell them where all those extra things are, extra blankets, that sort of thing. And 2, it's just really nice to have more than what you need. Then, going further down that hallway, you realize that there's not that much storage space in there. There are the 2 front closets, which we talked about in our foyer video. You can click that link to see that video. But in each room, there is at least access to 1 closet. At least 1. For the laundry room, there are 2 cabinets or 2 storage closets, which I would probably use to store laundry things, and then since that room also would be used as a craft area, to store the craft things. In the office, there are also 2 closets. One would be used for storing the office things. The other would probably be used to store camera equipment. Yeah, I have a lot of camera equipment and lights. Each bedroom of the guest bedrooms would have a clothes closet. I don't have to explain what a clothes closet is. I hope you know what it is. Then the master bedroom or the owner bedroom would have a huge wardrobe closet, and then it would have a linen closet in the bathroom that would hold towels and those sort of things, so that way there is lots of storage and lots of places to put things. The one thing I will say about my storage is also, where is it? Where is your storage going to be? What I've found and what I've thought of completely in this is the fact that I want my storage to be where I can get to it and think about it easily. So that's why I put my storage for my decorative items just off the living room where I'd probably use most of them. And I would put up my storage in a way so that it would be shelves that I do not have things stacked on top of. Because as you can see from my garage, while I have a lot of storage out there in my garage, it's not well done because I have stacks of things. So if I want to get a container from the lowest area, I have to then move all of the containers that are on top of it to get that container. And I would rather just be able to pull that out and get what I want. Would I even use containers? Well, probably, but I'm not 100% certain. In a perfect world, I could set this up like a sort of like a mini thrift store, so that way I could go in and check the wares and, move things around, but then that would also mean a lot of dusting and all that sort of stuff, so I'd have to look into that. But I would definitely set this up so that way I could have all of my things in a way where it would make sense that I could just grab a container, move it out when I need it to, and then put it back. Now, if you've followed my video where I talk about making a home inventory, yeah, click that card. It will tell you that, having pictures of all of your items with the locations of them, that makes your life so much easier, so that way when you go to do something, you can just look it up and be like, oh, hey, it's in this spot. I know exactly where to get it. And if you divide your decorating items, those sort of things, into groups, because even in my garage, it's basically divided up by color and by season, so that way I at least have some idea where to go. But you still need extra storage space. And I'm not, I didn't really count the garage as a storage space, because a lot of people store stuff in the garage, but I'm trying to get away from that, because what I'd like to keep in the garage mainly is just garage stuff. I would use the second garage, because I am just one person, so I'd only need a one garage. I would use that as my wood shop, where I'd also keep all of my tools, because yes, I do like to build things. So yeah, I would have all of those things over there, hopefully with some really nice equipment. But on the other side, where my car is, I would probably keep things like transportation things. I do like to ride my bike, and so I would have my bike over there, a bike pump and all the things to work on my bike in that area, along with my car and the things which would basically go with that. But storage is such a weird thing, because when you think about the fact that a lot of companies are making a lot of money off of you not having enough storage space. Everything from storage space rentals to the companies that produce things that you can just buy, use it for a while, and then throw it away or donate it. And one of the things to also remember is the fact that just because you buy something and use it and then you give it to a thrift store, it's not that likely that it's actually going to get sold. I think the number is about 90% of the things that go to a thrift store don't actually get sold. They still end up in a dump. We don't want that. If you can buy something, hold on to it, use it for years and years, and then you can even pass it down. You could have things that you can pull out and be like, I'm going to use this over and over and over again. It's good. It's a wonderful thing. It will save you a ton of money. And the cool part about having enough storage space is you can have things for different like seasons, that sort of thing, that you don't have to use every year. You could skip a year or two before you use an item. And that is one of those really neat things that you can then not have the same look each time, because you have enough storage space to enjoy the item that you have and not have to use it all the time. You can change out everything that you want. You can have your house look so completely different, so completely not cluttered, because your house has the recommended amount of storage space and the recommended amount of storage space for you, and that's what's really important, because a lot of people don't want to see all of their stuff displayed all the time. I know in my laundry room, and we will talk about that, where I would have my craft area and my laundry area, I don't want all my craft stuff out all the time, so yes, I would have it behind closed doors so I don't have to see it all the time, but I want to have it so that I would have the stuff that I'm working on, and I would also want to have extra. Because guess what? Having extra is actually a good thing, as we've found out as supply chains sort of went down there for a while. Having things on hand so that way if things are running short, you don't run short. You have enough that you can keep going and enjoy it. But having enough storage space will absolutely 100% change your life, because then things which would have been considered clutter aren't clutter, because you can adequately, neatly, and with enough space store those items away and not have to worry about it. Now, if you're interested in the articles where I got all this information from, like I said, they are linked down below in the description. Also, I'd like to take this chance to thank these wonderful people who are helping make this whole process possible. Hopefully you are enjoying my whole journey of hopefully building my dream house. If you want to really help me build my dream house, you can consider becoming a channel member or a Patreon member. On those, you get to see, you get access to these videos early, and we also have a weekly vlog where I give you the behind the scenes of all the craziness that goes on here. And as you probably heard in the earlier part of the video, you'll get to see my dog who loves to bark while I'm doing a video. Well, if you enjoyed this, hit that like button. Remember to share this video. It really does help the YouTube algorithm. And I hope I get to see you again next time you stop by.